Thank you, Kayenta. Yeah, I'm really excited to say we have a BSB General Gordon parent here who is an active transportation leader. And she's also the founder of Kids on Wheels, program that teaches preschool age children how to cycle with balance bikes. And not only that, she's also the first of, I believe, 2 parents in our city who have started up a regular bike bus program. And this has been in the media lately. It's something that is happening in a lot of other cities, so it's exciting to see parents doing it here. And that parent is Maya Goldstein. She's here, and she's going to introduce to us some of the ABCs of a bike bus program and what she's learned. And I'll turn it over to you, Maya. Thank you for being here, and I'm gonna share my screen and get that slideshow ready.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much, Mike, and everyone. It's really nice to be here. Thanks for having me. So Mike, I think will share the slides.
Let's see if it comes up. Can you see it now?
Yeah, and you hear me okay, everyone? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, yeah, so I'm a parent at General Gordon Elementary. I have a son who is in grade 2, and another one that will start kindergarten in September. And yeah, for the question how long the bike bus has been running, so not long. We just started a few weeks ago. First of all, what is a bike bus? I'm sure some of you heard about this. It's been kind of in the media and social media a lot recently. So it's basically a group of children biking to school together with adult supervision. In some cases, it's similar to a school bus with a few stops along the way. Some have only just one meeting point. The end point is always the school, so it's pretty easy. We all know where we need to go and when. Yeah, so like I said, we're just kind of getting things started, so we're learning a lot as we go. Next slide. So yeah, that's the reason number 1 for me to start the bike bus. And please, if you have any questions, you can jump or just we can do it at the end, whatever works. But the bike bus for me, it was really a personal kind of thing because we are biking to school every day, and often this is what would happen. There would only be like a bike or 2 on the bike racks, and there's lots of bike racks around the school. And it's really made me wonder why there's not more kids that are biking to school. Our school is also, in my opinion, kind of located in quiet neighborhood, quiet streets leading to the school, not so busy around it, except by the school. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. So it's really made me wonder why. And I think it's a lot about not feeling safe and roads and cars. And I really understand that. So I started thinking what would make kids or parents be more comfortable biking to school. And maybe if it's together, like in a bigger group, it will be more things that our parents feel comfortable with. Also in more personal level, I felt a bit disconnected from the school community. Although my son is in grade 2, he started in September 2020, so just over COVID, and a lot of the school's events were canceled. I actually haven't been inside the school till he was almost finished with grade 1. So I felt like I didn't know the school community very well, and not the parents or the families that live close to us. So I really wanted to see if that would be also a way to kind of start getting to know our neighbors a little bit better. Next slide. So like I mentioned, our family bikes every day, rain or shine and snow. Not my favorite, but it happens. And this was a day that was snowy, and we weren't sure at first if school will be canceled or not. So we kind of waited and weren't sure if we'll manage to get to school. So we're actually a bit late arriving to school. And for the first time, this block is actually by the school. And my least favorite part about the ride was actually so calm, because there were no cars, there were no doors, we didn't need to be careful. So it really made our bike ride that day very pleasant. Despite the snow. And I thought, yeah, that could really be nice if that could be every day kind of a ride by the school like this block. Next. So yeah, the idea is really started with this article. Like I mentioned, bike buses are really things that are going strong now, and Sam Balto organizes one in Portland, Oregon. He has a massive one. And this article really kind of, although I knew about the story before, something about this article really made me think about bike buses more seriously. And since it's in Portland and not too far, I thought Portland and Vancouver are kind of similar and similar weather. So why not to try and have it here? And these are just listed some of the bike buses in other cities that I've heard of, but there's more around the world. So it's really kind of coming like a movement. Yeah, next slide. So we set up, and with the DPAC help in our school, we set up to start our first ride, like I said, a few weeks ago, kind of for Earth Day. So we did it on Friday, April 21st. Unfortunately, the whole week before and on the day, it was cold and rainy, so people were not really still in like spring biking mood, but still there were about 20 people that showed up, which was good, I guess. I mean, not like San Balto, but it was still a good turnout. And at first we thought we'll just do it 3 times, like in April, in May, and June. But then a parent suggested, why just not keep it going every Friday? And then we kind of keep it very consistent. Parents know, and hopefully more people will join. So we kind of decided there was more parents who were enthusiastic about it. So I thought, sure, why not? We'll keep it going every Friday. And that's what we've been doing in the last few weeks. Next slide. And this, I think, the most important things to consider when you're planning a bike bus, the routes, the times, and the locations, and be very clear and just, you know, be there at this time, very, very specific where people need to be. And we have 2 routes, and we try to keep it on very quiet streets. Like I said, we're kind of lucky. We have 8th Avenue leading to our school, which is the route that I've been doing. And then we have another shorter route that comes basically on Bayswater Street. That is the route the street that leads to the school. And we always meet up kind of by the school and going to the school together. Next. So a few things to consider if you are considering doing a bike bus. Like I said, be very consistent with the time and days, with the routes. Try to encourage everyone to join and keep on reminding everyone. I found that very important. Keep it fun, have music if you can. Try to encourage the children to come up with their own initiatives, have signs, and also be prepared for weather. It can rain still. Road constructions and changes. As we were starting our bike bus, there was some water work that was done on 8th Avenue, and we had to take a detour, and we've done that a few times. So just keep in mind that stuff like that can happen. And also that starting small is okay. Like as long as you get a few kids, a few families out, and you make it fun for everyone. And then spread the word, talk to as many people as you can about it. I actually have a friend in Squamish that is now starting a bike bus next week during Bike to School week, just because she heard me and was very inspired by it. So she's doing it there. Next slide. And yeah, these are some of the resources. There's some grants. I applied for the Walk, Bike, Crawl mini grant from the city of Vancouver, and we got $500 to start. There's also neighborhood small grants. You can ask the DPAC to do a fundraising, or you can even just start. You don't really need like a lot of funds for that. It's basically just biking to school together. And there's a lot of resources out there. I just listed a few. I have tons of information. So if anyone interested, just reach out. And last slide. Yeah, and that's open to questions. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, Maya. So Maya, would it be okay if I can collate all those links and share them maybe on a single document? I could put it on this social media.
Yeah.
And maybe even share them in our next newsletter. Would that be, yeah, I think if you're okay with that.
Yeah, with the link for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of useful sources in there. It's been very helpful for me.
Okay. I'll do that, and I'll put it out there for everyone. We have some time now where we can open up the floor to ask Maya some questions. I know I have some questions, but maybe I'll start it off if that's okay. And then other people, you can think about maybe how you might want to apply this to your school, and ask away. So Maya, I was just thinking about when you're leading a group like this, and parents want to get involved, how do you deal with the issue of like taking care of other people's kids? Do they come in on their own, or do they come with parents when they get into the bike group or the bike bus? I guess it's more of a liability issue. And it's definitely the first thing I know when we talk about these things to administrators in the school. They want to know like about liability insurance. So I'm just wondering if you've had these discussions before and how you accommodate these issues in your group.
Yeah, surprisingly, the issue hasn't come up when I discussed it with the PAC. Everyone was super keen to get it going. We did ask, at least for the first ride, for parents to accompany their kids, and we still ask that for younger kids. Now I take one kid on the route. I spoke with his mom, and she, for her, it's a huge relief. It bikes with us, and it's totally fine. So I think it's more like common sense and what your comfort level is. I know that in the other group that is doing the route from Tatlow, that is not very long, they also express interest that they can start just taking all their kids on their own. We actually had kids bike and the parents walked on the sidewalk, because I think for some parents, they just don't have a bike or they don't feel comfortable, but they do feel comfortable with having their kids in a group and just walk to the school and met us by the bike racks and kind of just help the kids lock their bikes and being there for them to go to the class. So that's how it's been going so far. So like I said, we just started and we still adjusting and doing what we think.
Okay. Kayanta, you were first with your hands up, and then Sandra. So Kayanta, go ahead.
So I'm always sort of about like communication and how you found getting the word out worked. So like, did you use social media or posters, or I guess what worked best for you?
Yeah, I don't think our school has a huge social media platform. So basically it went into all the latest PAC newsletters. And because it's, kind of 3 ways communication for the first, and that was also with challenges along the way. I think for the first 2 or 3 newsletters, they didn't put the date in for the first ride. And I was like, no, but like there's no date, so people don't know when all of this is going to happen. So finally, like maybe a few days before, it was like, okay, it's April 21st for Earth Day. so that's what we've been doing. We have put a poster outside, like in the school grounds, and then we started handing flyers. Before the first ride, we also had flyers going to each child with their agenda or backpack. And we actually decided for next week we'll do bike bus every day for Bike to School week. So there was a flyer that was going out today with all the kids. So that's basically what we've been doing so far for communication. And I just found that just talking to the parents works best. But obviously I can't talk. We have almost 400 children in the school. So, so people I know, I kind of try to talk to them and explain what it is and what we're doing.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Sandra, go ahead.
Hi, I was just curious about the financial aspect of it because you mentioned that you had gotten 2 grants. I was thinking it wouldn't cost too much to start a bike bus, but what were the costs involved?
Yeah, I think you can start it without applying for grants. I applied for one grant from the city of Vancouver. It was also just really kind of motivating too, because once I knew we got approved, I knew I had to do it. So it was more about that, I think, more than just getting the funds. We got $500. We used it for, I always bring granola bars for the kids when we get to the school. We got some for the, printing flyers. And then for Bike to School weeks, I just bought some like bike related prizes because the school wants to do like a draw for the kids who bike and get 2 kids in each class to get like something. So that's basically what we've been, and then we had, I think for the first one, we had coffee for the parents after, and we're doing it next week again at the end of Bike to School week. So that's basically what we've been spending the money on. But like I said, you can do it without getting funded. Just do it. So yeah.
And I just wanted to say, like, what if there was a student who didn't have a bike but wanted to bike to school? Would you like help them to find a?
Yeah, it hasn't come up. Personally, I think I can help or suggest a few options to family if they don't have a bike.
Yeah.
So far, no one came up to us with that issue. It might come up next week when it's Bike to School week. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a few organizations or nonprofits that can help with that for sure.
Yeah, I would have loved to have done this when my son was in elementary school. Like, I love this idea, but I think at his elementary school there aren't any bike racks.
Okay.
Well, there are a couple, but not like as many as I saw in their picture. I think there's one rack.
So that's not the only bike. We also have bike racks on the other side of the school. So our school has lots. So yeah.
So would you have any suggestions for a school maybe that, doesn't have a lot of bike racks or has a lot of low-income families that don't have bikes? Well, we already discussed that, but and another issue is being on, like, my son's elementary school, when he was in elementary school, is on the corner of 2 major thoroughfares. So like, how would you get around something like that?
Like main roads, you mean?
Yeah, his school's well, he's in high school now, but his elementary school was on Broadway and Clark.
Yeah. Definitely that's an issue. Like, I feel very fortunate that our school is, like I said, in a very quiet area, and that's also what made me wonder why there's no more people biking. I know one of the bike buses I mentioned in Hood River, it's also in Oregon. The organizer name is Megan Ramy, and she's been taking kids basically on highways. And when I saw her presentation, I was very inspired, because I was like, if she can do that, and they have no kind of cycling infrastructure where in Hood River, and still once she got it going and the momentum, they've been doing it. I don't know if personally I would feel comfortable going on main roads, so luckily it hasn't been an issue for us. So like I said, a lot of it's like your own comfort level, and what you feel okay with. So definitely, yeah, not all schools are like in quiet areas, but I think if you can find the quietest routes, and just try,
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Maya. Alan's got his hand up. Alan, go ahead. You're muted.
Gosh, you'd think after 3 years, right? But thank you, Mike. Thank you, Maya.
I know, problem happens to me.
It was very cool to see the presentation bookended by the empty bike racks and then the full bike rack photo. That was very cool. But it put me in mind of so my kids spent their high school sort of time at Kitsilano. Kitsilano has it has, as part of their upgrade, they put in this huge kind of cage for bikes outside the school, and I think it's better now, but for quite a while, people were finding ingenious ways to break into that and make off with the bikes. And so I'm wondering if there's been any concern raised about, all those bikes sitting on the bike racks all day. If there's any concern that's or experience that's been a target for bike theft. And so just wondering how, if that's come up and how it's been dealt with, and what kind of locks people have, and maybe helping with locks might be kind of one way to use some money as well.
Yeah, so definitely it has come up, and I've heard parents from, oh, we don't bother locking the bikes, to parents who are, no, we don't feel comfortable leaving the bike. And most of them are in the middle. They bring a lock. Most of the locks are not very good, I have to say, but the bike racks that are that were in the picture are kind of in the front of the entrance to the school. I don't think there has been any thefts. I hope not. But I did buy one of the other things with the grant money. I did buy now 2 locks to leave at the school office. So if someone forgets a lock, they can just go into the office and borrow it for the day and just return it with the key at the end of the day. So that's one solution that I can think of, because I know that, in the mornings, a lot of people are in a rush, and sometimes it happens that you forget your bike lock. So hopefully that will help on that front.
Yeah, thanks. It sounds helpful for sure that those bike racks are in kind of highly visible areas, and that's probably something, if a school's thinking about, we should get some bike racks, like where to position them so that there's eyes on them quite a bit is a good thing to think about. So thank you.
For sure.
All right. Thanks, Alan. Anthony, you got your hand up. You're next. Go ahead. You're just on mute.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the bike theft thing. I don't have any statistics, but I can say anecdotally say my kids have been riding to school for the past, one of them for the past 12 years, and the other one for a few years less, and to schools that tend to have a lot of bikes there. Colby Lang, where the bike racks there are always full, and now Tupper, where again it's hard to find a spot for them to park their bikes. And as far as I know, bike theft has not been a problem at any of those. But at Colby Lang, the bikes are in front of the school. There's often anywhere from 50 to 100 bikes there. And at Tupper, the bike racks are actually kind of scattered around the school site. And as far as I know, like I said, there's not really been a bike theft problem. It's anecdotal. I don't have statistics. It might be worse in other places. Certainly, the more bikes parked at a place, probably the less likely it is to be draw attention. Like if you have 1 or 2 bikes at an empty bike rack, then that's going to draw attention as opposed to like a whole fleet of bikes. But I really like the idea of having a few locks on hand in case kids forget or something like that. That's a really good idea. I think that's something that would be go really well with these bike bus organizations.
All right. Hey, I think that looks like it might be it for questions.
No, sorry, I just had the little guy come in, but it's okay. Yeah.
Did you want to respond to Anthony, Maya? Or?
I think it was more of a comment. I'm not sure if there was a question in there, but yeah, I don't think there's any, like in our school, I've never heard about a bike theft being an issue. So I really hope not, you know. And also I think it seems like there's always people around. Like I said, there's some bike racks just in front of, it's kind of in front of the office. Kids are out for recess, people walk by. So it's really, I think, kind of visible where the bike racks are. So yeah, so far so good.
Okay, great. Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, I'll close the floor and just want to say thank you, Maya, for taking the time, your time, and coming here and talking to everyone and preparing the slides and just giving us a real idea of what it's like to start this up, because not a lot of people have done it, and in Vancouver, and so you're one of the first. And okay, hey, thank you so much, Maya.
Yeah, thank you.